Know the gang, know the gang, know the gang. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can join the notification gang and never miss an upload. What's up, players? It's Idlewilds here, and we're back with the Patriots playbook and the gun trips tight end formation. Once again, this play is we're going to focus on the PA shot wheel, but the gun trips tight end is found in other playbooks, so you don't necessarily have to have the Patriots playbook. But I like the Patriots playbook because they have a very good, every formation they have normally is very good passing. So it's not like the best of each formation, but it's a very good version of each formation, and you have a bunch of very good formations. But we're going to focus on the PA shot wheel and a couple of setups out of this. So let's go ahead and we're going to start off against cover 3. So in the last video, we did double in sail, and you wanted your running back and tight end on the short side of the field. This one, it really doesn't matter. You can have them on the right side. You can have the running backs on the wide side of the field. It doesn't really matter, so we're just going to focus on the middle because this play is focused on beating the zone coverage. So the first setup is a deep passing attack option, and this is how I'll do it. I will fade my tight end, triangle Y, select Griffin, and then pull the right stick up for a fade. Then I will block my running back, triangle Y, select my running back, and then pass block him R2. And then I would drag. You can do whatever you want with Hopkins. You can leave him on that route. I prefer to drag him, or you can slant him. I prefer to put him on the drag, so that way I have an underneath option. And then I will motion Smith. And how you put Hopkins on the drag is triangle Y, select Hopkins, pull the right stick down for that drag. And then I will motion over Smith. I believe you guys saw this in one of the videos I did for one of my team builders, but if you guys didn't. So the first read is the drag. Obviously the first read is the drag. And then the second read is whatever the user guards between that wheel route and the crossing route, you go ahead and guard the opposite. So let's go ahead and set it up. Hold on, let's base align. Let's do all the jazz. So let's say the user goes ahead. This is the user here, and he guards the wheel route. So it's a simple read. Obviously the drag is going to be open most of the time, so we're going to ignore that. If he guards the wheel route, then you have the crossing route, and vice versa. If he goes and guards the crossing route, then you should be able to throw the wheel route right where, as long as you throw it into an open area of the field, it should be open. So let's go ahead and set it up again. The user is now going to guard the crossing route from QT because the crossing route has to be used in order to be guarded. So you go ahead and you set it up. You go ahead and make the read. I messed up and went ahead and left the user on, but you see that he's open, but I forgot to pull my controller off of the user. So let's go ahead and set it up again. And I had to make sure so that way you guys can actually see like the visualization of the user go ahead and guard in that crossing route, because I mean most of the time he's gonna have to use a guard it unless he uses like a cover 6 or he crossmans it. So now we have the user actually going out there to physically guard it. So he goes ahead and does that, and now you have the crossing route open underneath. You throw it to wherever it's going to be open on the field. So that's the first setup. It's a deep attack. If you're getting blitz heavy, if they're throwing the 3-3-5 odd blitz at you and you can't pick it up, you don't want to run it, because unless you're going to throw the drag every single time, you're going to need a little time in the pocket. So now we're going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys a man beater that I have out of the PA shot wheel. So we're going to come here. We're going to go up into let's go into a man blitz. Let's go like a lot of people like to run these cover 0 blitzes. Let's go into a good one. What's a good one? Free fire, Mike blitz. Let's go Mike Will blitz, just for example. So your opponent is doing like these heavy man blitzes because he got Deion Sanders. He got who else is pretty good? Patrick Peterson, Eric Berry out there. So this is a setup that we'll use against man blitzes. Now it's up to you whether you want to block a tight end or not. Sometimes I will put my tight end on a streak when I do this. Sometimes I won't. It depends on what my user is doing. Let's say for right now he has a tight end. We're going to put our tight end on a streak. Let's triangle Y, select the tight end, D-pad up. We're going to put Smith on a slant. Triangle Y, select Smith, pull the right stick to the right for a slant. Now Hopkins, you can do a couple of things with. You can slant him, you can drag him, or you can put him on a comeback. That's completely up to you. Sometimes it depends on how much time you think you're going to have in the pocket. If you're going to have a lot of time, then you want to go ahead and put them on a comeback. But for right now, we'll just put them on a drag. And I'll show you guys how to hit that comeback in a second. So you do whatever you got to do to pick up the pressure. But what we're gonna do is the crossing route is gonna beat man coverage, and we're gonna motion this slant, and the motion slant is gonna beat the man coverage. And the drag, as long as you got better speed, you should be able to beat the man coverage. So you're gonna see here we have man coverage back there. As long as you get enough time in the pocket, that slant is gonna beat man coverage, and the crossing route is gonna beat man coverage. And if you have a speed advantage, the drag is gonna beat man coverage. Now you can leave the tight end to block if you want to. That's obviously, it's all completely up to you. Let's show you that we're in the man blitz right now. Let's go ahead and you can use this same setup against zone coverage, but I'm just gonna show you guys that if you guys get stuck against somebody who's trying to just sit in the crib at you all the time, we actually got picked up right there, because the guy they did a green dog blitz right there. What happened is the guy who was supposed to blitz the running back went ahead and man covers the running back, went ahead and block and blitz. So let's set it up again. I'm tripping right now. Let's go ahead. I want to show you guys that you can hit that crossing route, and you can pretty much hit the crossing route right away, but I like to give it a little bit more room so that way I can hit it like that and go down the field. So the slant, the drag, and the crossing route is open. Now let's block 7. Let's get a little bit more room for this comeback route. But I'm just showing you guys the man beater routes that you have out of this same play. So you come across somebody who's trying to just do heavy man blitzes all day, you can block the crib, let him do his man blitzing, and now you got the slant, you got the comeback, and you had the cross route. Whoa, Deshaun Watson, what you doing, player? I'm trying to set up a play. I'm trying to show you guys, show my peoples on YouTube how we're supposed to beat this man coverage. You're not doing me any kind of favors now. So you got the man blitz coming. Let's go ahead, block the protection, comeback route. There you go. So those 3 routes will beat the man coverage: the motion slant, the crossing route, and the comeback. Let's go into another play setup for this play. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you guys. I'm recording all of these videos at once. So like I said in the last video, if I'm going too fast, let me know in the comment section. I'll also list the setups in the description below so you guys can take a look at the setups. But if I'm going too fast, let me know. And in the next series I do, I definitely will slow down. I don't want to make these videos 15-20 minutes long each, because I'm going to post 1 or like 4 every week. So I don't want to make them a billion minutes long. So here's the second setup. You want to streak or fade your tight end. Triangle to Y, select your tight end, put them on a fade this time. Then you want to block your running back. Triangle to Y, select your running back, R2 for pass block. Then you want to put Smith on a hitch route. I posted this a couple days ago, so you guys could take a look at this as well. This is like a money play that I posted earlier, but this is something that you can use out of this same play. Triangle to Y, select Smith, and then press R2 for a hitch. And then you want to motion him over and then snap it. So let's go ahead. We're set up in the cover 2 right now. So you want to motion him over, and your first read is the hitch. If you can hit that hitch, then you want to hit that hitch. Nobody's in that hitch, you can hit them like that. And you can also playmaker that hitch to the left or to the right to help mess up your opponent. So let's go ahead here. Go ahead and run this hitch right there. I'm not going to baseline on defense, because obviously it all depends on your opponent. And you can playmaker him to the left or the right and force your opponent to worry about that. But what really makes this play shine is not only does he have to worry about the hitch, those deep routes, those crossing routes, and that Z routes are something that your opponent has to worry about as well. So you see you got this playmaker over here, and you see the crossing route was coming up overneath, and the post route was coming up deep middle. It could have been like a 1-play touchdown if they didn't really adjust to it. I was too busy looking at the play, so you guys see I got cracked by the defensive line pass rush. So you see here, we got the post route. Come on. Jesus, Deshaun Jackson. I call him Deshaun Jackson. I meant to say Deshaun Watson. You're making me look bad, Smalls. So you guys got the crossing route, you got the hitch, and you got the post route. Obviously, you can read them in any way you want to. The first read is always going to be the hitch route. And then depending on what your opponent do, you can hit the other one. If he guards the crossing route, you can hit the post route. I really want to hit that post route before we get out of this play real quick, though. And I definitely don't want to adjust the defensive line, because you are going to get there is going to be a pass rush. So I'm not going to put them on freaking spies. There we go. But you guys see that it's open against cover 2. And even if he puts his middle linebacker in the deep blue, let's say he puts his middle linebacker in the deep blue like this, you're still going to have, where is he at? Let me put him on a hook curl real quick. Even if he has his middle linebacker in the deep blue, the fade is going to pull all of that back. All those deep zones are going to get pulled back by that tight end, so that the crossing route or the Z post is still going to be open. You don't have to worry about him like putting the middle linebacker in the deep blue. See, he's still going to, as long as you have a good pass lead, you're still going to get that open. So let's see if we have another setup for it. So the last setup we have for this is all going to depend on what you want to do and who you want to use. You're going to leave Kuti and Hopkins on the same route, but what you also can do is it depends on who you want to slant. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to streak either the tight end or Smith, and then we're going to slant the other. So if you streak Smith, you can slant Griffin. If you slant Smith, hold on, wait a minute, I got a little confused right there. If you slant Smith, you want to streak Griffin. So that's the different setup, and you can motion Smith as well. So this one is where you can play around with it a little bit. So you could streak Griffin and then slant Smith and then run it just like that. And if your opponent goes for those crossing routes, you can hit them underneath for the slant. And the same goes for the opposite way. Let's say you wanted to streak Smith and slant Griffin. This is where you get creative on your own. He goes ahead and does that. If he stays too low, you can hit the post up over the top. So this one is going to be dependent on you and dependent on what your opponent does. You can even do it to where you can slant your tight end and you can streak Smith and then move him over. This is where you get your most creative with it, because now your opponent is not knowing who's going on that slant, who's going on that streak, and he still has to worry about the post routes and the Z post from that outside receiver. That's where your own creativity is going to come in from. You can also like the last setup we had was where the hitch, you can leave the hitch right there if you want to. Now I don't like leaving the hitch right there, because the hitch on the outside, if you put it to the outside to the right, it's going to help pull down cloud flats. If you leave the hitch on this side, it's not really going to help the cloud flats come down, so it opens up room for that crossing route. But you can leave it here fine if you just want to throw it in for a mix up for your opponent. If you motion them to the right, you can still get room for that crossing route. But essentially, that's the main ways I like to run the PA slot play. Obviously, there's a billion different combinations, especially now that you got the elite route running specialists and stuff like that. But those are the main setups that I like to use. If you guys learned something in this video and able to throw it into your scheme, let me know by hitting that like button. It lets me know I'm putting out good content. You guys like it. It helps the video go out to other people, helps the channel grow, and all that good stuff. Now, we're going to be back tomorrow with another play from the Patriots formation. I appreciate you guys showing up. I'm out.